Now, despite being a far-left commentator who has demonized conservatives for literally decades, he now says that MAGA is not his enemy.
I think that we could actually unite the left flank and the right flank. And I've got a model for how to do that, and I want to run it by you guys.
In recent months, especially since Trump's win, but even before that, we've seen some well-known figures on the left move to the right.
My ideas. So I give up. I'll just do violence instead. And I loathe it. I think it's the worst thing that could happen in this country because it'll tear us apart.
Cenk Uygur, once a fierce Trump critic, now claims MAGA isn't his moral enemy. But Matt Walsh isn't buying it, and he's about to blow the lid off this sudden conversion. Let's make a deal. If you smiled, learned something, or had an aha moment, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Don't leave me hanging. Did you hit it? Cool, thanks. Now, let's dive back in. Get ready for a jaw-dropping expose that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about political allegiances. Trust me, you won't see this twist coming. Cenk Uygur's been singing a different tune lately, and it's got people talking. The guy who used to rip into Trump and MAGA like it was his job is now tweeting stuff like MAGA isn't my moral enemy and calling them anti-establishment.
They think you guys are all MAGA, and MAGA means it's a cult, and you're never going to disagree with Trump. You're never going to disagree with each other.
You come to a MAGA event and there isn't a seriousness. It's not about people trying to fix America. It feels like a carnival.
Yeah.
Is that a fair critique?
No.
Yeah, you heard that right. The same Cenk who couldn't say Trump's name without adding fascist or Nazi is now acting like they're not so bad after all. Let's rewind a bit. Just a few months ago, Cenk was going off about how Trump was destroying democracy and how MAGA folks were a threat to America. Now he's all, we should work together, and they're not the real problem.
In other tweets and comments, he's called for unity between the two sides. He's criticized the extreme left, or as he now apparently calls them, the max left.
So we're all faced with this impossibility. Do you lie and fill out the form so you could be on the ballot?
They're not on your side. They're on the establishment side, right? And guys, today, I think that, we could do something historic.
We need that passion in all of us to remember that it is possible. So on the Young Turks...
Talk about a 180, right? But here's the kicker. The Young Turks, Cenk's show, isn't exactly pulling in the views like it used to. People are switching off, and the numbers don't lie. So what's a political commentator to do when their audience is shrinking? Apparently cozy up to the folks they used to bash. Is this Cenk having some kind of political epiphany? Did he wake up one day and decide MAGA wasn't so bad after all? Or is this just a desperate grab for attention and views? Matt Walsh isn't buying the sudden change of heart. He's calling it like he sees it, a cynical ploy to get people talking and maybe grab some of that sweet MAGA audience. Walsh points out that Cenk's not exactly known for admitting when he's wrong, so this whole let's be friends act, it's probably just that, an act. But Cenk's little MAGA love affair isn't going unnoticed.
According to that poll, we literally have millions of people in America who say we would like Cenk to be the president of the United States of America.
For the years, the MAGA crowd has faced a lot of criticism, but none more stinging than the line of attack.
Not because we dislike him. There are some policies we didn't agree with, some policies we agreed with, but because we didn't want to lose to Donald Trump.
His old pals on the left, they're not happy, not one bit. They're seeing this as a betrayal, a sellout move from a guy who used to be their champion. And boy, are they letting him know it. So now Cenk's caught between a rock and a hard place. His old audience is turning on him, and the MAGA crowd, they're not exactly rolling out the welcome mat. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. You know it's gonna be bad, but you just can't look away. Remember when Cenk used to call out traitors who worked with conservatives? Guess who's being called a traitor now? The left's not just mad, they're out for blood. But here's the million-dollar question. Can Cenk survive being canceled by his own tribe?
Maybe have some humility and shut up and listen for a few. You haven't listened at all your entire life. Maybe you should be listening now.
This is not the answer. And I thought Trump acted brave, and that was an amazing moment.
You could be a real candidate, and then if the Supreme Court blocks it, you say, hey, that's America, and the Supreme Court has weighed in on it.
The election's stolen again. That's my biggest fear.
So you think it was stolen last time?
Absolutely.
Turns out the left isn't too keen on Cenk's new MAGA-friendly attitude. They're treating it like he just walked into their house and took a dump on the carpet. One Twitter user didn't hold back, saying, "You mean the tolerant left are not being tolerant? They will not let you back in the club now, Cenk. You are being too reasonable." Ouch. Guess tolerance has its limits, huh? It's like Cenk forgot all those times he trashed other leftists for even thinking about working with conservatives. Now he's on the receiving end of that same anger. It's like watching someone get hit by the very bus they were driving. The left sees this as a total betrayal, like Cenk's giving a big middle finger to everything they stand for. And it's not just random Twitter users. Cenk's former allies are turning on him faster than you can say flip-flop. It's like he's got political cooties or something. Nobody wants to be seen with the guy who's suddenly saying nice things about MAGA. This isn't the first time the left's gone after one of their own for cozying up to the other side. They've got a track record of canceling people who step out of line. It's like a political version of Mean Girls. One day you're in, the next day you're out.
And have people think you're a real candidate and you could run and you could be supported and you could show up in a poll and you can get donations. And
Liberal Republican in New Jersey and then eventually became a progressive. The short answer is I believe in facts.
don't forget this moment. Look at how wrong they were when they said don't try and don't go for change.
My ideas. So I give up. I'll just do violence instead. And I loathe it. I think it's the worst thing that could happen in this country because it'll tear us apart.
Cenk's trying to defend himself, but it's not going so well. He's not exactly known for admitting when he's wrong, and that's not helping his case. Matt Walsh pointed out that people who switch sides rarely show any humility about it. It's like they think everyone else will just forget all the stuff they said before. So can Cenk win back his old audience? It's not looking good. The left's not in a forgiving mood, and Cenk's not exactly making it easy for them. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. His old fans think he's a sellout, and the MAGA crowd isn't exactly welcoming him with open arms. But here's the real kicker. While the left's busy tearing Cenk apart, the MAGA crowd's reaction might surprise you. They're not exactly rolling out the red carpet, but they're not slamming the door in his face either.
Now, despite being a far-left commentator who has demonized conservatives for literally decades, he now says that MAGA is not his enemy.
But back then, I was trying to prove how politically incorrect I am. So I wrote a lot of silly things, wrong things, outrageous things.
It's like they're watching from the sidelines, wondering if this is for real or just another political stunt. So Cenk's done a full side going from Trump basher to MAGA hugger. And guess what? Nobody's buying it. The left's calling him a sellout, and the right's not exactly rolling out the welcome mat. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. Matt Walsh ain't fooled. He's saying we should all be skeptical when someone suddenly switches sides like this. It's not like Cenk's known for admitting when he's wrong, right? Walsh thinks it's all about the views and attention. What does this mean for political talk? It's getting messy out there. People are switching sides, audiences are getting mad, and trust. That's in short supply. Makes you wonder if anyone's really saying what they believe anymore, or if it's all just a show for likes and views. Politics used to be about ideas, now it's like a reality TV show gone wrong.